we got ourselves a Pythagorean theorem problem where we got to take a squared plus b squared and its equivalent equal to c squared. Now keep in mind c will always be the hypotenuse. That is the side that is opposite of the right angle. But this problem specifically today, a little bit trickier than just a typical Pythagorean theorem problem. I expect you to give your answer round to the nearest tenth, but I also want you to be able to give your answer in simplest radical form. Now, simplest radical form you may or may not know about, but if you're dealing with Pythagorean theorem, you've probably already learned how to round decimals. So let's start by talking about rounding to the nearest tenth. We need to get the value for c by taking 12 and squaring it, 14 squaring it, those are both of our legs, and that's going to equal our hypotenuse squared. So 12 squared is 144, plus 14 squared, which is 196. It's equal to c squared. Now remember the side is just c, so we got to combine these. That's going to give me 340, and it's equal to c squared, but I don't want c squared. I want c all by itself. So I square root to cancel out the exponent of 2. If you square root on the right side, you got to square root on the left side. So when you go to type in the square root of 340 into your calculator, you're going to get a very long decimal because this is what we call an irrational number. It's a non-perfect square. And what it comes out to is 18.439. Don't think that I understand that. I just have been asking this question all day, and that's the number I've been getting, and I remember it. So 18.439 is going to simplify down when I go to the nearest tenth. That's that location. 3 tells me to keep the 4 a 4, so 18.4 would be my final answer if asked to round. Now, what if I was asked to put it in simplest radical form? What does that mean? Same idea. You need to take the square root of 340, but we want to factor that number of 340 into two values. Factor it to two values that when multiplied together make 340, but not just any two values. We are specifically looking for element of surprise, those numbers right there. What is so special about 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, 64, 81, and 100? Those are our perfect squares. If I take the square root of 16, I get a nice, neat whole number of 4. If I take the square root of 64, I get a nice, neat whole number of 8. So what we want to do is ask ourselves, is there one of these or more that 340 is divisible by? Now, you can go down through the list. 100 doesn't work, 81 doesn't work, 64 doesn't work, 49, 36, 25, 16, 9, but 4 does. 340 divided by 4 would give me 85. Now, why do we want to factor it out into two numbers, specifically one of the numbers being a perfect square? Because if we can turn it into a perfect square, we can simplify it. The square root of 4 is 2. So 2 root 85 would be my answer for this side length of the right triangle, but I'm giving it in what's called simplest radical form. Different than estimating or rounding to a nearest place value. Study hard and good luck on your upcoming test.